ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalape. In a major story, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, sues federal government. Nigerian police over withdrawal security details. Also in this program, presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Abu Jalil Tafa Balewa, set to bow to PDP pressure over consensus candidates. And many die as 3 explosions run public transport company. Outside Nigeria now, violent protests force out President of Burkina Faso, Blaise Compaoré, from office. Thank you for joining us tonight. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, has challenged the pass of the police authorities to court to call his orderlies. He personally led his lawyers to the Federal High Court in Abuja to file the court papers on behalf of himself and the All Progressive Congress. The defendants are the People's Democratic Party, the House of Representatives, INEC, and the federal government. The reports.
When the convoy drove in, almost unannounced on Friday morning, it was quite obvious that a top government functionary was in court. It turned out to be Speaker Aminu Tambuwal and several members of the House of Representatives without security details. But he had his lawyers with him as he walked up the stairways into the Federal High Court building. The court papers were filed and all relevant documents signed. Speaker Tambuwal is challenging the powers of the police to withdraw his orderlies, and he added PDP, INEC and the Attorney General as co-defendants. He declined comment after the suit was filed, but his media aide provided a clear insight into the visit.
I mean, he's still the Speaker of Nigerian Parliament. For us, we're talking about the institution, and anything that will impede the performance of an arm of government, definitely we must look at it with a lot of concern. And the era of, we're not running a banana republic. It's Nigeria. This country belongs to all of us. There are spelled out rules by which you can carry out any activity. And of course, he's still the Speaker of Nigerian Parliament. We don't have any other speaker. And for us as an institution, we're looking at it quite with a lot of sadness, because there are 3 arms of government, you know, and no one affects the other. If the police want to take the issue of interpretation in their hands, then that's very unfortunate, because the police is supposed to protect every citizen of this country, not even the Speaker.
The spokesman of the House of Representatives, for his part, argued that there is more to the police action than meets the eye.
Well, that's why we are here. We felt, number one, the IG of police, first of all, the police is not empowered by law to interpret the Constitution. What the Constitution says, we believe the police quoted it out of context. And we feel that the right place to interpret the Constitution properly is the court. That's why we are here today. Opposition members of the House say only the courts could determine the fate of the Speaker after his defection. The lawmakers also cited similar examples of carpet crossing in recent times and wonder why the police were keen
on what they describe as selective action.
There are several examples. Apart from even that, the governor of Abia moved from PPA to ABGA and then to PDP. The problem is selective judgment. Where there is, it favors a particular political party, the rules are different. Where it affects others, the rules are different. I think we need to depart from that as much as possible. We need to depart from that and at least not do selective implementation or selective execution. And of course, it's been the stock in trade since the administration came.
The Speaker is a law-abiding citizen of this country. Nobody can doubt the fact that he understands the law, he understands the constitution of this country, and is a veteran parliamentarian who knows what he's doing. Of course, the PDP is panicking because the Speaker has decided to seek a better future, on a platform that he believes in. He has the right of association under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And now for the police to come up to say Section 68, subsection 1G, is enough ground for them to withdraw the security aids of the number 4 citizen of this country. Smack of gross intolerance and lack of understanding of, first and foremost, the job of the police force.
A date has not been fixed for the hearing of the suit, but it is certain that the nation is on the verge of a historic court battle that will be cited as precedents in the coming years.
The All Progressive Congress has warned the federal government against inducing members of the House of Representatives to sign a paper seeking to reconvene the House before December 3 adjourned date. Party spokesman Lai Mohammed said in a statement issued on Friday that such plans will amount to piling illegality upon illegality, since only a resolution by all principal officers of the House can reconvene the House. APC also insists that for us, as long as Aminu Tambuwal remains Speaker, he is entitled to all the statutory perks of his office. Presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Abdul-Jalil Tafawa Balewa, says he will be willing to consider other options if he fails to obtain a nomination form. One of such options, according to him, is to respect the party's decision on consensus candidacy under certain circumstances. He, however, expressed a strong belief that he will be issued the nomination form from now that the deadline has been extended.
These are unusual times which require unusual reasoning to be able to get some reason out. I will consider that when the time comes, if it comes.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has denied claims by the People's Democratic Movement that the government frustrated its plans to use the International Conference Center for its national convention. The PDM National Chairman Bashiru Yusuf has alleged that the FCT was placing obstacles in the party's bid to hold its convention at the weekend. But spokesman for the FCT Minister Nosike Ogbenyi told CoreTV News that there is no basis for the allegation.
The International Conference Center, has since been leased out to private people to manage. It's not under the FCT administration. It's not under the control. It's, there's an organization, it has been privatized. So the same thing with Eagle Square. So those people, if you want to rent the place, you don't come to the FCT minister. And again, let me say something. Since April, by the time April was there, this timetable that they're implementing now had not been unfolded by INEC. So they're just telling lies. So what happened? Probably maybe they didn't do one thing or the other right. So that is it. They should address the issue. The minister does not in any way interfere with the actions, with the processes, of various departments and agencies or even organizations in FCT. In this case, International Conference is not even a department, as I told you. It is under an independent, under an autonomous management. So what that thing is totally bad politics that they're trying to play, and they should leave FCT minister out of it. He has no hands whatever to whatever misfortune they may be facing. Maybe they didn't do the needful thing at the right time.
The Independent National Electoral Commission says it will soon apply sanctions for non-compliance with the timetable for the 2015 general elections. The Commission's chairman, Atahiru Jega, said this in an interview with journalists in Abuja on Friday. He advised people, politicians and political parties to adhere strictly to the timetable. Jegala also stressed the need to sanction anybody or political parties that violates the Electoral Acts or guidelines issued by the Commission. Considering the use of an electronic card reader for the 2015 general elections, INEC Chairman Atahiru Jega says the technology will be test run during the by-elections in preparation for its deployment next year. He added that the card reader will be used to confirm if the fingerprint and picture correspond with the name on the voter's card.
I would like to say that we've taken a decision at the Commission that now that all the major governorship elections are behind us, any subsequent by-election between now and 2015 general elections, we are going to pilot the card readers in the field, again to help us really test these card readers and keep on improving if there are challenges before we now use them for the 2015 general elections. The hard copies of the registers which we've been using for all elections will also be there, you know, and so it's really a backup. But the decision of whether if you are verified electronically or if you are not verified you can't vote, that's a decision we have to take together with political parties and other stakeholders.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. 3 bomb explosions leave many dead in Gombe. Find out more after this timeout. Stay with us.
I no longer worry about deodorant stains with Nivea Invisible for black and white deodorant. No white marks on black and no yellow stains on white. My black stays black and white stays white longer. And I stay 48 hours protected. New Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea.
Also available, Nivea Men Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea Men.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. If you're just joining us, this is a quick reminder of some of our major headlines. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, sues federal government. Nigerian police further withdraw of security details. Presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Abdul Jalil Tafabale, was set to bow to PDP pressure over consensus candidates. And many die as 3 explosions rock public transport company. For more information on our news and other programs, visit our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CoreTV. And our Twitter handle at CoreTV. You can also log on to www.youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, the news. Many people were reported dead after the explosions rocked the popular Gombe Line Transport Services Limited in Gombe State. According to the police and eyewitnesses, the explosions were reported to have occurred at about 9:30 a.m. Friday. The 3 bombs, which were said to be concealed in bags, went off during the morning rush hour. Police blamed the latest in a series of attacks targeting commuters on Boko Haram. Area Police Chief Abdullahi Kudu says the command is still working on the death toll. An employee of the state-run bus park, Lawatu Aliyu, and other witnesses said 3 men left bags packed with explosive and exploded buses. And our former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, has described the sight of Boko Haram's flag in Adamawa State, a second-largest town, as a tragic act and a worrisome affront to the corporate integrity of Nigeria. The Cherokee Adamawa, who was abroad the incident took place, told a group of journalists on arrival that from what he gathered from online news report and other sources from Mobi, the situation is very unfortunate. He added that if reports that soldiers abandoned their duty posts a few days before the Boko Haram actions are true, then complicity will now be ruled out. Atiku was quoted in the statement issued by his media office as frowning at what he described as a possibility of conspiracy in the sudden retreat of the troops. While the former vice president said he is heading for Yola to meet with those managing the displaced people and see what assistance he could render them. The Bring Back Our Girls group has expressed concern about escalation in the attacks on towns and villages in the northeast Nigeria since the government announced a truce with Boko Haram. The protest movement said in a statement that reported fall of movie is particularly shocking, especially as tens of thousands of people have been displaced. It consequently wants the authorities to act immediately to restore the territorial integrity of the country as well as address the worsening conditions of internally displaced persons. Bring Back Our Girls group also noted that the abducted schoolgirls have now spent 200 days in captivity, while recalling that the government officials said 2 weeks ago that insurgents will soon release the girls. The abduction of the Chibok schoolgirls has run into 200-day mark. In Lagos, the Women Rise Initiative stages a rally to express displeasure at failure so far by the federal government to secure the release of the girls. Our correspondent, Anita Fatiji, has more.
The president of Women Arise and Campaign for Democracy, Joe Oke Odumakin, says the federal government should step up efforts at securing the release of the girls.
200 days after, our heart still grieves. It's terribly worrisome. It's disheartening. It's heartbreaking that for 200 days, our girls are still with the terrorists. And that is why our gathering here is to prove a point. And what is that point? That point is that government must be more responsible and responsive. Government must fulfill its constitutional responsibilities in making sure that our girls are rescued.
Others who spoke at the rally says the issue should be treated with more urgency by the government.
But we are not only asking for freedom for the Chibok students, we are also asking for the freedom of all other persons, of all other women, of all other men who have been abducted.
We sang it when they are 50 days, we're still looking for them. The same song was sung when they are 100 days. 150 days has passed. Now we are beating. We are on 200 days. And my people are still busy looking. Nobody is talking. All we hear every day is negotiating. They say negotiating, we have negotiated. And the only thing I can derive for their negotiation is a preparation for war.
The rally also says All Nigerians should unite against terror and insurgency, irrespective of religion and creed. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned the Director General of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, Benjamin Ogunbodidi, and 3 others on a 17-count charge of conspiracy, misappropriation, and diversion of 115 million naira. Ogunbodidi and the 3 other accused persons, Zacchaeus Tejumola, Adinoshe Clement, and Jaliku Omitoju, were arraigned before a federal high court in Ibadan, Oyo State. The arraignment is based on a petition from the academic staff of the institute, who allege that the Director General forcibly claimed to have spent the amount on hazard allowance for its members on December 2013. They also allege that he claimed to have used 15 million to harvest crops when he only spent 800,000 naira. When the charges were read to them, all accused persons pleaded not guilty. Justice Ayo Emmanuel adjourned the matter till November 11, 2014 for hearing and remanded all the accused persons in Agodi Prison, Ibadan. A federal high court in Abuja has fixed Tuesday, November 4 for the arraignment of Coca-Cola Nigeria Limited, Nigerian Bottling Company Limited, and their managing directors for alleged violation of Consumer Protection Council Act. This is in response to charges filed by the Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Adoke, against the accused before Justice Evuchukwu. The global soft drink giant and its franchise holders in Nigeria are to be tried for allegedly violating the orders of the Consumer Protection Council on safety standard. If found guilty, the chief executive officers of the 2 companies risk a jail term ranging from 3 to 5 years. Public relations experts in Lagos have brought to the fore the importance of positive imaging for business organizations as well as country. The Chairman Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Rotimi Oladele, stressed the need for professionals to see crisis management and community relations as a strong point to core due to their growing need in the society. Our correspondent, Motayala, was there in our reports.
With the theme Effective Stakeholders Engagement and Corporate Profitability, the Lagos branch of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, through extensive lectures and in-depth discussion, says the practice has a lot to offer if well established and applied through the right channels. The host and chairman of NIPR in Lagos, Joseph Okoma, says the conference was aimed at reawakening the significant role of public relations in businesses as well as in governance.
That's important for us to know the importance of public relations and what and how they contribute to making businesses.
Following rise in management crisis, Chairman of the Governing Council of NIPR, Rotimi Oladele, charged professionals to learn to multitask on the job, which keeps them relevant, as well as prefer solutions for crisis management.
It is important that politicians and leaders, especially as well as businessmen, must have professional public relation person taking charge of their affairs. Like everybody want to have a medical practitioner, everybody want to have a legal practitioner, the same thing. If you care about your name, if you care about your business, if you care about your health, you must as well care about your reputation. So it is a necessity. So, but in Nigeria, we must own up to the fact that we are not there yet 100%. We are on the way.
Some guest lecturers at the conference also add their voices to the need of public relations and its positive impact in setting the right stage for businesses and other societal issues.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We take another break now and return with business, sports, and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
In business now, the Lagos State government says it will continuously encourage enterprise development in order to tackle unemployment and financial insecurity in the state. Deputy Governor Adejoke Orelokpe Adefulere said this at the closing ceremony of the 2014 Corporate Forum of Association of Professional Women Bankers in Lagos. The Deputy Governor was represented by Tony Onanuga, an Assistant Director in the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, spoke on the theme, Sustaining Financial Inclusion Through Micro-Enterprise Development. She said that to realize the goals, the state government had established 18 skills acquisition centers to train young people and unemployed graduates, particularly women. She added that the administration also conceptualized and started a short-term economic empowerment program designed for some categories of people. Similarly, Bola Oshibogu, President, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, said the case for micro-enterprise had assumed an advanced level in both advocacy and implementation. According to her, a nurtured and well-structured micro, small and medium enterprises contribute significantly to poverty reduction. She added that CIBN is poised to vigorously pursue through its advocacy and educational program that attainment of lofty goals of the financial inclusion. Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves fell 1.94% month-on-month to stand at $38.76 billion US dollar on October 29, the lowest level in more than 3 months, data from Central Bank review. The reserve also dropped 14.28% year-on-year compared with $45.22 billion the same time last year. Reserves were last seen at the current level in July 21 when they stood at $38.72 billion US dollars. Since last month, Nigeria's central bank has increased the amount of dollars sold at its twice weekly foreign exchange auction and also sells dollars directly to banks on the interbank market to provide support for the currency and calm the market. The Naira has been under pressure over the past 5 weeks from falling global prices. Oil prices, which was caused offshore investors to cut back their positions in the debt and stock market. And now, licensed custom agents have commended the Nigerian Shippers Council for the downward review of the progressive storage charges by terminal operators in Nigerian seaports. They told newsmen in an interview that the tariff review was a proactive measure that will enhance sustainable maritime business. Lucky Amiwero, president of the National Council of Managing Directors of Licensed Custom Agents, says the decision will have positive impact on the entire maritime chain trade system. He says while the NSC's actions were commendable, maritime stakeholders expected more from the regulator on the course of doing business in Nigerian ports. He also says the current approach by the NSC was part of the memorandum of understanding between licensed custom agents signed with port stakeholders on charges for trade facilitation. Uchu Block, deputy president of the council, while also reacting to the developments, said the move by the NSC is a continuation of how it has proactively implemented policies that will leverage maritime business. And now to market report now. Equity transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange Friday ended on a negative note. The all-share index dipped by 0.03% to close at 37.5 55.024 basis points. Market capitalization decreased and closes in the same manner at 12.43 trillion naira. In all, a total of 330.76 million shares valued at 3.5 billion naira were exchanged in 4,564 deals. Report shows that WAPCO topped the gainers chart, followed by Dangote Sugar, Port Paint, Zenith Bank, and Fixing Pharmaceutical PLC. On the flip side, Guinness topped the losers chart, followed by Total Nigeria PLC, 7-Up, Cadbury Nigeria PLC, and Nigerian Breweries. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We take a break now. We're back with sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Nigerians are expected to seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity. The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
we break the news.
In Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
A 24-hour news station.
And in sports now, the process for the return of Stephen Keshi as head coach of the Super Eagles appeared complete on Friday after the NFF Technical Committee accepted the plea for his reconsideration made by Shaibu Amadu on Monday. Amadu was announced to take over the senior squad in the early hours of October 16, as after the team's 3-1 victory over Sudan in Abuja only took it to 3rd place in the Group A table of the 2015 African Cup of Nations qualifying campaign. However, in a letter dated 27th October 2014, an address to NFF President Amaju Pinnick through the chairman of the NFF Technical Committee, the 56-year-old tactician pleaded that Keshi be reconsidered for the 2 matches as the time frame was too short to tinker with the fabric of the squad or start to build a new one altogether. Speaking on Friday morning, chairman of the NFF Technical Committee, Chief Felix Anyasiu Agu, said his committee has accepted the plea and forwarded the same to the NFF president. On his part, NFF President Amaju Pinnick simply said that he had no objection to the proposal. And our newly recalled Super Eagles head coach, Stephen Keshi, has listed Ikechukwu Uche for the last 2 2015 Cup of Nations qualifying matches against Congo and South Africa. The Valeria striker is staging a return to the team for the first time in nearly 2 years. And there is also a first senior team opportunity for Nasarawa United midfielder Tony Ejomare. Home-based defender Solomon Kwambe is also back in recalling alongside Aram Samuel, who scored one of the goals against Sudan in Abuja. The regulars include skipper and goalkeeper Vincent Inyama, defenders Geoffrey Obabona and Elderson Echejele, midfielders Ogenyo Nasi, Amikalobi, and forwards Amadou Musa. Emmanuel Emenike and Babatunde Michael are also invited. All the players are expected to report at the Bolton White apartment, Wuse Abuja, on Sunday, November 9. Meanwhile, Gombe United goalkeepers Chigozie Agbin will lead the Super Eagles team in an international friendly to commission the Akwa Ibom International Stadium on Friday, November 7. Keshi has also called up Emem Udok and Ufam Udo, the two men in the horse chase for the top scorers award in this year's Premier League, as well as Bola Salami, Rabi Wali, Christian Pagbara, Bright Isieme, Umaru Zango, Solomon Pambe, and Azubike Ekwe in a 24-man squad. The players are to report at the Meridian Hotel Uyo on Monday, 3rd November 2014. LeBron James returned to NBA with the Cleveland Cavaliers, ended in a 95-90 defeat against New York Knicks. James, who moved back to his native Ohio after leaving Miami Heat, finished the game with 17 points but could not prevent an opening day loss. A four-time NBA Most Valuable Player decided to return to Cleveland after becoming a free agent on 1st July. A 29-year-old forward began his NBA career with the Cavaliers 11 years ago and won 2 titles while at Miami. And outside Nigeria now, Burkina Faso's President Blaise Compaoré has announced his resignation following violent protests at his attempt to extend his 27-year-old rule. Compaoré issued a statement saying the presidency was now vacant and urging elections within 90 days. Military Chief Honoré Traoré said he had taken over as head of state in line with constitutional measures. Crowds danced and cheered in the capital Ouagadougou after Compaoré's resignation was broadcast. Protesters, angry at this attempt to amend the constitution, had on Thursday set fire to parliament and government buildings. There was an euphoria atmosphere in the place, the land nation, as thousands of protesters heard that Compaoré was no longer their president. The demonstrators sang the national anthem, but the crowd has no intention of going home as they are unhappy that Honoré Traoré has been appointed as transitional head. He is seen as too close to the ousted president. He was Blaise Compaoré's aide-de-camp, and for these demonstrators, that is not enough of a rupture with the past. They have been chanting Longue, 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 the name of retired General Kome Longue, a former defense minister who fell out with Compaoré in 2003. Just before we go, this is a recap of our top stories today on CoreTV Primetime News. We told you that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, has sued the federal government, Nigerian police, over withdrawal of security details. We also brought you a report that presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Abdul Tafawa Balewa, is set to bounce to PDP pressure over consensus candidacy. And lastly, many died as 3 explosions rocked public transport company in Gombe. Thank you for being part of the show tonight, and this is where we draw the curtain on CoreTV Prime Times tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Frank Omalape, wishing you a wonderful night rest. Good night.